I was being a good dad that day because I was going to leave my kids for a week, my pregnant wife and kids for a week. So I I saw this happening when it was $1. When it was $1, I was like, I can't investigate this to see if this is legit or not. So I'm just gonna put my phone back down and pay attention to these things.
It's
that
a
have
really
made me
fascinating era that we live in here, where basically, if you're not plugged in 24/7, you are going to lose. You're going to miss out on a lot of
be poor.
generational wealth opportunities. And it's the information. It's whoever has the best access to the information and is ready to, like, it's not only you do need the stream of information, the flow, but you need some kind of like a mechanism to evaluate that information and be like, yeah, this is, and let's see the whole zeitgeist, be like, yeah, okay, this is a buy. I have to put my money into this.
I think that's like the 100 IQ take, though, right? That's you could just take the 80 IQ take of this is good, big balls, let's go, and then you just ate.
Welcome back to Bitcoin.com's Token Narratives, where we discuss the biggest stories shaping the Bitcoin and cryptoverse. I'm Graham Stone, Bitcoin.com marketing lead. We are joined by Bitcoin.com CTO, Andrei Terentiev, who is also leading up our markets and AI strategy. And last but not least, we have Bitcoin.com CEO, Corbin Fraser. What's up, guys?
Ohio gozaimasu.
How's it going? Good to be back.
Are you guys? Are you missing Japan yet, Andre? Are you?
Well, I'm kind of like locked down with the kid and stuff recently, so having more space is definitely very nice. So that's the pro, where it was like my apartment before was like 30 square meters, and I'm just imagining what it would be like with a baby in there, and be like, would not have made it.
I had a 20 square meter apartment. That wasn't fun. So. Yeah, shoebox apartments in Japan, not so hype. If you're rich in Japan, it's great. But yeah, if you're slogging it,
or you live in the countryside like I do. I got plenty of space out here in the sticks.
Living the dream.
Enough chitty chat, gentlemen. Let's get into it because
we hanging.
We've got. Yeah, thank you. We've got our first executive order, crypto executive order, just released a few hours ago. So crypto-related executive order. Let me just bring up the exact wording of this. This is from the White House .gov. It says, the part that I think is the juice of this, it says, they're going to establish a working group, okay? And it says, the working group shall evaluate the potential creation and maintenance of a national digital asset stockpile and propose criteria for establishing such a stockpile, potentially derived from cryptocurrencies lawfully seized by the federal government through its law enforcement efforts. So this, to me, seems like bad news because it's, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the market has been expecting something a little more than this, a little stronger wording. We will establish a Bitcoin reserve, but this is instead just we're creating a working group. And if you look deeper in it, they've got like 60 days to make their recommendations. So on the other hand, the price of Bitcoin and the markets in general have not tanked on this, nor have they pumped. So I was thinking that you could actually make a case that's bullish, right? The market was seemingly expecting something more. We didn't get it, but we didn't dump. So, I mean, that's a sign of strength, perhaps.
Yeah, I think you got like 60 days of trading potentially, where you're going to have people trying to front run what's going to be decided in this work group. I would also argue that this is a bull indicator for alt season. I think the wording being not so focused on Bitcoin only, at least I'm reading it as we're going to hold some shit coins. We're going to hold some alts. We're going to hold, who knows, maybe we're going to put some meme coins in the mix. So I don't know. Different ways to interpret it, but it's not just a Bitcoin only thing, which maybe from if you're an orange coin kind of monotheist, that might be a bummer. But if you're, hey, crypto's cool, people are innovating outside of orange coins as well, it's good.
I mean, I think it's bullish in the sense like government in general moves very slow. So it wasn't going to be like on day one, they're like, and now we're just buying $5 billion worth of Bitcoin. So I think the good thing is they're definitely going to hold the coins that they've already seized. So it's not going to end up like the Germany situation where it's just like, right now we're going to sell our bags. So they're probably going to be holding on to those for like the foreseeable future. And then the interesting thing, right? So I think those Lummis is the person, she's the senator that's going to be actually leading that committee. And they already have like a bill for making the strategic reserve, right? So that like they already like drafted and written it up, but it does have to get approved by Congress. It's not something the president can just like do right away. So we'll see where they actually like progress on that. But it seems good, moving in the right direction. It's not off the table, but it's not on day one.
I'm wondering if you guys have any opinions on the AI and crypto czar, who's this guy, David Sachs, who you may know as one of the former hosts of the All In podcast, I guess. He hasn't been on there since jumping into the political realm, but I'm asking, so he doesn't seem particularly pro Bitcoin or crypto, this guy, from what the statements I've heard of him, like just on the podcast. Do you guys have any thoughts on this guy? Is he actually going to push this, or does he care about other things?
I mean, I think you probably have to consider the fact that he's worth a lot. So he's probably invested in a lot, and everything he says, he needs to be extremely careful of. He's not a all in, ironically, he's not an all in crypto guy, right? So he can't just bang the drum of crypto. He's got to probably play all angles. He's got investments in TradFi. He's got investments in traditional finance. So finding that balance is probably going to be a sweet spot for him.
Yeah, he strikes me just way more as like your traditional Silicon Valley VC guy, much more than like a crypto guy. So like, I don't think he's going to be like beating the drum of crypto necessarily, but I think crypto people might be a little bit disappointed on like how the government is going to adopt crypto, if that makes sense. Because like the version of the crypto they're going to adopt is much more of like okay, now it's like inside of the banking system. Now any ETF is legal, like all of these things, as opposed to like, I don't know, they're going to be heavily involved in something like DeFi or meme coin trading. So I think it's going to be a little bit different than what people expect. And I think it's going to like also create like these regulatory barriers, right? So now Coinbase or whoever kind of has the green light to play by the government's rules, which might eliminate a lot of like the smaller players, where it's just like, hey, you have to do KYC if you want US customers. Like you can do it, but you have to do it like this. So I'm interested to see how that pans out. If there's just going to be like a big regulatory barrier for the incumbents.
Yeah. Okay, so as we think about how the US government is going to create policies around Bitcoin and crypto, I think we must address the elephant in the room, which is Trump coin. So let's get into a discussion on that. But first, let me just see if I can sum up what happened here over the last week real quickly for those who may have been living under a rock. So on January 17th in the evening, Friday, US time, Trump dropped a post on X and Truth Social mentioning Trump coin, the fight with a fight motif. And within a few hours, the coin skyrocketed to a top 15 cryptocurrency by market cap. It smashed every record, fastest ever to reach 1 billion, then 10 billion. It topped out at around 70 billion fully diluted market cap for a price of around $70 per Trump buck. A few other points to note here before we get into the discussion. Trading volumes on Solana smashed records, peaking out at over 35 billion, which, for perspective, the NASDAQ, which is the world's highest volume TradFi exchange, does about 300 billion a day in volume. So this is like 10% of that meme coin trading on a decentralized network, Solana. One other little point to note here is that if you went to the website for the token launch and you clicked buy online, or so buy with crypto or buy with card, in both cases it sent you to Moonshot Wallet, which briefly shot to, I think, #1 on the App Store for finance, possibly for all apps on the app stores for a short time, onboarding like 400,000 new people to crypto, seemingly. So one last thing before we get into the discussion. About 48 hours after Trump coin launched, we, of course, had the launch of the Melania coin, and that seemingly was the trigger for a pretty massive sell-off. All right, so let's get into the discussion. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Maybe what's Trump's motivation in creating this coin? Do you have any hot takes there? People have been throwing around the word it's just a cash grab, it's a grift.
I mean, there's always going to be the negative Nancy's of the group, saying this is stupid. But I think it's great. I think it's a signal to the wider market that, hey, I'm one of you guys. I see the things happening with the memes. I want in. I think it's a great way to connect with the base. It lets people have some fun. I mean, I'm reading it more as a signal from the U.S. and from the administration and from Trump that greed is good. We can have a little bit of fun in crypto. The rules have loosened up now where, launching a meme coin, you're not going to immediately go to jail. It's not straight to jail, straight to the gulag anymore. You can have a little fun now. So in that sense, great signal for the market, great signal for utility coins, great signal for meme coins, great signal for builders. But yeah, I mean, are they providing any utility around this? Where's the value of this thing going? Remains to be seen. But I mean, I don't think they need to figure it out all on day one. This is kind of like you got a great brand with the Trump name. You got it's an interesting stress test on Solana. And, as much as people have dogged Solana, they made it through that burst of activity and came out the other side. Solana stayed online, guys. So I think pretty cool stuff. I'm bullish overall, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just view Trump. He's a businessman where it's just like, I don't think he's even super involved in this. So he obviously has like a crypto team, and they're like, hey, we'll give you X amount of supply, and you can, as long as you can call it Trump coin or like whatever, right? And then you post saying it's the official one. He's like, yep, sure, sounds good. I don't need to hear anymore. And it probably, same way he would do like a licensed hotel or something like that, right? You guys go build it. You guys go do it. You can call it the Trump Hotel. And I'll get whatever 10% of the royalties or whatever. So that's kind of how I view the project, where is he going to be super involved in it going forward? I don't know. I don't really think so.
Oh, we lost you, Andre. Is he going to be super involved in it? Yeah.
Yeah, going forward, I don't think so. On the Solana point, I saw funny, this goes back to the whole made in the USA coins and things like that. And whether Solana is going to be part of this strategic reserve potentially. Hilarious tweet I saw earlier was based on this. It sounds like the strategic reserve is going to consist of ETH shorts via perpetuals. So even the US government is going to be betting against ETH. in the strategic reserve. But yeah, Solana seems to have like really taken like the zeitgeist of smart contract and tokens and things like that.
Actually, to jump in on that, seeing the success of Trump, the meme coin, seeing the success of Solana handle this, that was enough of an indicator to me that Ethereum hasn't kept up. And it was like the slap in the face that I think I needed to say, sell some ETH, buy more Solana. Yeah, I did buy, of course, some meme coins. You know, I'm not an idiot. Trump goes and tweets about a new contract ad or something, I'm going in. But I didn't sell the top. I sold on the way up, guys. So yeah, ultimately, I think it's cool. But I do think that this is like a signal that Ethereum hasn't really stayed competitive. And if there's a reason they launched the meme coin on Solana and not on ETH and not on an L2. This is a strong indication that like utility in terms of making things easy to use. Like Solana is very easy to use for brand new people coming into Ape. And if you're just coming in from like the, say, crypto casino angle of just buying degeneracy and buying whatever you can, it's a great platform for that. And I think this is going to be a signal for every other big name in the, I don't know, you're a celebrity. Are you going to launch your meme coin on ETH? Probably not. You're probably going to join Trump on Solana. So I think there's like a positive EV bet still on Solana growing from here, given that it's just sucked so much of the mind share. And I think it's going to suck more of the future launches on it instead of on ETH or any of its cool techie L2s. Like, congrats on the tech guys, but nobody cool is launching right now meme coins on your nerd L2s.
Yeah, so I think there's an interesting discussion about Solana. Like, for example, does Trump launching a meme coin on Solana, does that cheapen Solana? Does that make Solana, okay, that's just the place where you do your meme coin gambling? And Ethereum, that's where the serious stuff is happening.
No, I think it's the opposite. I think you're going to have more people that like you'll have you'll have some new, I don't know, like fresh out of school or even like currently in computer psych school. They're going to say, okay, I'm going to dabble in the memes, and then they're going to progress to, well, what else can I do on this chain? What other interesting things are there happening here? And then I think this is where you build that like developer zeitgeist around a chain. It's like the meme coins might be the gateway drug, but you're going to stick around because like, well, that's where your stable coins are. You've got some Solana bags. You've already got your meme coins there. You've made a bank there. You're holding a stack there. Why would you go build on this other chain that you're maybe less familiar with? If you've been onboarded straight to Solana, you're probably sticking around for a little while.
Yeah. It's kind of like how porn was the onboarding for the early internet, and we stayed for the e-commerce and other things. But just going back to, because Andre, I think, and Corbin, you both sort of, especially Andre, you implied that Trump might not really be thinking too much about this, the launch of this coin. It's just like something that, okay, he's got a team. I think it's CIC Digital is the LLC behind the coin, and they've struck some deal. And it's like, yeah, as long as I get a little bit of, whatever, it's like steak knives or something, or Trump University.
Well, I think there's actually something more strategic going on than just I'm selling my name. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Okay.
You look at everything that they're doing, right? You've got World Liberty Financial. So as far as I can understand, it's an Aave fork. They're going to offer lending, borrowing. They're tying the Trump name. They're tying U.S. made protocol. They're building it. It seems like it's going to be an EVM chain since it's an Aave fork, but they're very much trying to build a user-friendly normie DeFi. And
I don't disagree. The coin is doing something, but even for like World Liberty Financial, like that's kind of like more Don Jr.'s or Eric, I forget which one it was, their project, right? So are
Eric,
they going to be, Eric, are they going to be like more involved? Probably yes, right? They have their own like business family. Is like Trump, like Donald Trump specifically going to be involved in this? I don't buy that too much.
Well,
yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily think Trump is going to be behind the desk of the White House trading meme coins. You know, I've never even seen a laptop on that desk in all the years I've been watching the whole political debate. I think they just use pens over there. So
Turns
I
out he's
don't.
just on pumped up on the whole time.
he's got his ledger out there just smashing buttons. Come on, I gotta get in on this. But no, I don't think that's happening. But I do think that, you know, he's probably at least abreast of like general P&Ls. I mean, if you're tying your name on these things, there's got to be some value growth that you're like, if I'm putting my name on this thing, I want to see that you've got a plan. I want to see that there's some sane stuff coming out of this, and I'm not just putting my name on a dumpster fire. So I don't think he's like, I don't think this is like a quick buck thing. I think there's game theory at play. Now, I'm not saying this is like QAnon. This is all like part of the plan to like upheave the Fed and end the Fed. It's probably less nefarious or cool as that, but I think there's like general business sense in terms of him and in terms of his family and in terms of the people around him to make this an interesting play over the next 4 to 8 years.
I want the Trump DAO to determine monetary policy for the U.S. moving forward instead of the Fed.
Well, there's certainly a lot they could do with Trump coin. 80% of the supply is held by CIC Digital. Not sure exactly what that means. But there's another interesting point which I think has to be made, which is that on paper, at least, Trump via CIC Digital, however that arrangement works, this is with Trump coin now at $40 billion FDV. This now is Trump's biggest financial asset. It eclipses all of his other financial assets on paper. Of course, you can't extract that, right? Like, and there's cliffs and everything, but that means that he has to pay attention. He is paying. You wouldn't, if suddenly on paper, oh wait, I've got like a $25 billion here, like you're going to be paying attention to that. So I think that's definitely something we have to consider here with how he moves forward on this project. He's going to be paying attention to it.
Well, I think what's exciting about this is that we know that World Liberty has taken more positions in Bitcoin, in Ethereum, and in Avalanche, and in other assets. So they're spreading some money around. And it's not just in Solana. And it does seem like that team is not so hyper-focused on just an individual chain. They're looking at crypto and DeFi as a whole. So I think, yeah, this is a bull signal for the entire market. And like you said, if Trump has serious net worth in this, I'm sure someone's updating him on his net worth on a monthly basis. You know, he's got an accountant. There's some bean counter that's got his little glasses out, and he's reporting to the big guy every month saying, here's what you're worth. You know, here's what's going well. Here's what's not going well.
We've got 25 billion of Trump coins.
And as we think about the Trump administration's strategy towards crypto, I think it's another important thing to note here is that actually they've got sort of all three of the biggest buckets of crypto covered here between the Trump family, right? We got meme coins, we got talk about Bitcoin, like supposedly Trump is orange pill to some extent. We got the branch with the DeFi, the World Liberty Financial. So they've got their fingers in sort of all the major crypto buckets. That's pretty interesting.
So the way I think about it, it actually goes back to like Trump being very pro energy. So this was like his biggest thing for the past 10 years. And like, what's the two biggest energy like hogs in tech? Crypto mining, AI, right? So like these are really like almost like downstream from the fact that like, oh, we just need to produce more and more and more energy. And what is that energy going to power? It's going to power like crypto and AI. So I think that's why he's so like heavily pivoted into those particular industries. And we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. And just a little update as well on World Liberty Financial. So they have raised now. Let me just check this. It's a little over $1 billion has been raised by this protocol so far. So the total supply is 25 billion that they're selling, and they've already sold. I just checked this morning. It's like 22.6 billion.
Well, and
So
the interesting thing, the token
90.
hasn't even started trading yet. They have not enabled trading on the token, so you can purchase the token, but it's not traded. It's not actively traded. You go open it up on a markets page. There's no volume. There's no data on it. Oh, look who we got here! A new player just entered the game. David,
what's up, man?
Welcome.
Sorry, guys. The fiat system failed me. I had to work around it. Fucking fiat.
Did you have to hang your thumb out, or how'd you get in? Oh, you're muted, man. I think he was debanked by Uber recently.
I had to pay in fiat, so I had to hail a taxi, old school style. So that's why I'm late.
How was that? How was the taxi ride?
Yeah, it was fine. It was a really nice taxi. He didn't speak English, of course. So
H1Bs,
of course.
Okay. For context, David is joining us from Miami, where he's been doing some interviews at the WAGMI conference. I just saw your wrap up for the day, David, and it seems like it's an intimate conference.
That's one way to say. I'll have more on it later, I guess. But yeah, it was pretty small, actually. A bit surprised.
What's the vibe in Florida? How's the Bitcoin, the crypto sentiment?
Very positive. I would say most of the people that I've met are new to the space, right? Through Jamie, the news lead, I've met a lot of like OG people, but in terms of just like me going out meeting people on the floor or at these events, it's they've been all like people who have recently entered crypto.
Are they holding Trump meme coins or Solana or Bitcoin?
I've asked. No Trump meme coin holders yet, or at least none that have like admitted to it. But lots of Bitcoin holders apparently. No one wants to admit to holding ETH anymore either, though. So
we were just talking about that.
So I have to say this. Actually, so hold on. So when this Trump thing like all kicked off, I was like leaving basically for here, and so I couldn't really get to my computer and do anything trade wise for this whole thing. But I had like a good 72 hours to think about what I would do once I got to America. And what I eventually did when I got here was remove more of my ETH position. I think ETH is done. I think ETH is done for this cycle. And so I now have like a minimal position in ETH, and I moved it over to Solana. So I'm almost fully out, boys.
Yeah, I took a major
exit. Exactly how we talked about seeing the Trump coin just convince more people to switch over to Solana. This is Exhibit A right here.
That's what I did, and I think it's the right play. I honestly do. I think at least for this cycle, and that in the like you guys have probably been following this, but like the civil war that's been happening on ETH.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just saw there was a talk of a second foundation. Little nod to Isaac Asimov there, I guess. But but they're trying to make an alternative foundation that's I don't know how you'd explain it, less retarded.
Yeah, but did you see the follow up tweets to that?
No.
The follow up tweets were saying, because this is the Lido guy put this out, right? Lido founder put these second foundation. He said this is not official. This is more aspirational. It has nothing to do with any like official kind of second foundation. So, yeah.
Interesting. Well, I mean, we did see Vitalik don a Milady, so that was somewhat bullish. But is it enough? I mean, yeah.
What does that mean, by the way? I was never into the Miladies. Like, that was like apparently a big signal. I was like, what does that actually mean?
Well, correct me if I'm
Is
wrong.
wartime?
Well, I think it was more like Ethereum was getting a lot of flack that the ETH Foundation and ETH heads often don't even use DeFi. And I think I was seeing that as, oh, well, I support an NFT, so look at me use DeFi. I'm totally one of you guys. So, like the ETH Foundation has traditionally, at least the optics have been that the only time you hear from the ETH Foundation is when they're selling. And you don't often see them using the DeFi protocols or promoting DeFi protocols. And nobody's bull posting ETH or DeFi. And there's like so much innovation in the space. And yet all you hear is like, ETH Foundation transferred, $10 million to Coinbase, and you're like, "What are you doing?" So, and I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's weird.
But did you also see, like, I mean, dude, there were so many like just ETH self-owns during this time. So after either right before or after the Trump meme coin, one of the chief engineers for the Ethereum Foundation released a like defensive tweet saying like, of course we use Ethereum to do lots of stuff, right? Because people were saying, well, do you guys even do anything? And he was like, we sell ETH to pay for our salaries. We yeah, he was like, we sell ETH to pay for DevCon, and we sell ETH to, and I mean, it was just like the most brain dead, like autistic, can't read the room kind of thing.
Yeah.
There was a narrative once with ETH, right? They had ultrasound money. They had EIP 1559. There was the burn. There was talk of, ETH 2.0. I think the issue has emerged, though, where ETH was a DEI coin, and it did really well under a Kamala Biden, wokey vibe of rainbows and LGBTQ plus AI, whatever. And now it's like, hey, they had the greenwashing of like, we moved off of proof of work to proof of stake, guys. We're saving the environment. And then you had all the NFT creators that are like basket weaving lesbians from Brown saying, I launched an NFT on ETH because it's a safe chain. And now I think everything's moved to back. Like, I don't know. We're seeing a zeitgeist change from a DEI world to an alpha dog world with Trump and manpower and Bitcoin and proof of work is cool again and energy consumption. It's mine, baby, mine, and drill, baby, drill. And I think they haven't held up. And, you got people in the ETH Foundation and Ethereum in general that don't want a bull post. They're like, above it. We're too decentralized to bull post. We don't need a Michael Saylor because we're so decentralized. Meanwhile, you got XRP, you got Solana, you got Cardano, you got these guys like lobbying the government, being like, you guys want to take a position? And yeah, they're getting talked about. And nobody's talking about ETH except for the fact that they're selling and holier than thou. So I think they're shooting themselves in the dick right now. It's really embarrassing to watch.
Yeah, the best Vitalik could muster was we're gonna continue being inclusive. I think was the exact phrasing. Also, just a side note, with Vitalik donning the Milady NFT profile picture, in a bygone era, that would have caused the price of the Milady's NFT to skyrocket. But it moved a little bit in the last week, like 30% or something. So
I feel like
you could argue
terms
that
of things that are dead, NFTs is above ETH. Like, the NFT market is still just, if there was something that crashed harder than ETH, it's NFTs.
Also,
you could even argue that him donning a Milady NFT is bearish Milady's because like.
But Graham, we talked about this though. I think he did it sarcastically, right? Like,
okay,
in a lot of his tweets replying to the haters, he would
said
end,
Milady.
Yeah, he would
Actually, I kind of found his passive aggressive autism was like, I was like, I love Vitalik. He's so great, man. But I think he's in a tough place because he's surrounded himself with people from that bygone era of DEI. You've kind of got like, and he probably likes some of them. He's got a relationship with some of them. You trust some of them. And I think when you're Vitalik and you're worth a shit ton and you're one of the most influential people in the space, trust is a very valuable thing. And it's hard to trust new people, especially someone who's going to tell you, hey, stop what you're doing and just bull post. Go be a Michael Saylor. And that's not really who he is. That's not what he does. He's like a cerebral, intellectual giga brain. I don't think he's not the Roger Ver of Ethereum, right? He's not the Michael Saylor of Ethereum. He's something else. But he needs that. He needs that that flavor, that the yin and yang, right? And he doesn't have that.
All right, David, since you were late, I just would like to go back a little bit to the Trump coin thing. Do you have any hot takes there?
I mean, I have a lot to say about that. I don't know what you guys covered. So I guess I would ask you guys briefly a couple questions just to see where you're at. Number one, overall, did you think this was like a kind of a good thing for crypto or a bad thing?
I think we settled on it being a good thing.
Yeah, I think we're all bullish. Just legitimizes crypto. The president
more eyeballs.
More eyeballs legitimizes it. Pumped up on is okay. Launching meme coins is okay. Yeah.
The retail inflows were amazing, right? Like on chain.
We onboarded. Yeah, I have an interesting question. Is it significant that he launched this coin before he became president?
Yes.
Is that intentional?
So. Yes, has to be. It has to be an FU to Gensler. Has to be, I think. Honestly.
Or is it more of a, like, you can't launch you shouldn't launch a meme coin if you're actually president, but as long as you do it before you're no.
I don't think so.
Part of me thinks this was like an additional Trump buck. This was an airdrop to his base, right? If you support Trump, you got a little taste. And it was an opportunity to have some fun.
Not only that,
potentially make some money.
The plugged in people did well.
But I mean, it was
the people who bought the top, because it took them a while to figure out what was going on, are underwater right now.
But not only that, but like the whole way it worked though was really kind of the ethos of DeFi and I think kind of the core tenets of crypto, right? Like it was upfront with what it was, so you knew what the distribution was right away. You had to be on chain to benefit, right? There was no sex listing at all, and you had to be waiting for it to happen. So if you weren't like dialed in, you didn't get anything. I mean, pretty pure in that respect, and you saw that in the metrics, right? Like you saw, I think Bybit released some info afterwards. Across all sexes during this time, you saw a drawdown of assets, biggest drawdown of
that's right, yeah,
of assets.
A lot of outflows from the centralized exchanges.
It was the biggest one since FTX. Biggest one since FTX.
And of course, we also had a huge liquidity black hole sucking money out of basically all the altcoins. Bitcoin held up, and Solana is the exception, of course.
I mean, even Solana went down. Everything on Solana, including Sol, went down, except for like a couple of DEX pairs, like Radium, I think. So yeah, it was giant.
Sol itself pumped on the launch of Trump coin.
Afterwards, though, I think people were selling Sol. People were selling, selling Sol to buy Trump. So everything was a little depressed from that.
How many of you guys got
David,
in? How many of you guys got in? Did any of you make money on this?
I'll tell my story. I got a tweet I got a message from you, David, or another guy in a Telegram chat saying like, look at this tweet. And I was like mid barbecue, with my kids. And I'm like, no, I'm not getting sucked in. I'm already in enough trouble with the wife. But so then after the kids were asleep, I got to my computer and I ate at about $20. So could have done much better.
But it went up to 70. So yeah.
Yeah. I think that when I first heard about it, it was like 10. So
yeah, I was being a good dad that day because I was going to leave my kids for a week, my pregnant wife and kids for a week. So I saw this happening when it was $1. When it was $1, I was like, I can't investigate this to see if this is legit or not. So I'm just gonna put my phone back down and pay attention to these things.
It's a really fascinating era that we live in here, where basically, if you're not plugged in 24/7, you are going to lose. You're going to miss out on a lot of generational wealth opportunities. And it's the information. It's whoever has the best access to the information and is ready to it's not only you do need the stream of information, the flow, but you need some kind of mechanism to evaluate that information and be like, yeah, this is, and let's see the whole zeitgeist, be like, yeah, okay, this is a buy. I have to put my money into this.
I think that's like the 100 IQ take though, right? That's you could just take the 80 IQ take of this is good, big balls, let's go. And then, you just ape. So, yeah.
Wait, Corbin, did you ape?
Of course. It was like at 4 a.m. my time. So I woke up around 6 and was quickly scrambling to try to figure out how to get in, and was like, I'm probably buying the top, whatever. This is fun. I know that I'm taking the 80 IQ play here. I don't know if this is going to work, but some other people are in. I think more people are going to buy after me. So let's have some fun.
That's what I'm saying, Corbin, is you understand the zeitgeist, right? You have this okay, when Trump launches a meme coin, that is going to pump. Not everybody understands that. So all I'm saying, my point is here, in this world we live in, it's like, you got to be plugged in and you got to know what information means when it's hitting you and be ready to take action.
The cycles have compressed so much, right? It was like in the, I don't know, pre 2017 world, or in the stocks world, it's like, I'm going to buy and hold something for 5 to 10 years. Then Bitcoin and stuff's now it's going to be 1 year. Now you're
5 to 10 minutes
or a day.
This is the 5 to 10 minute holes, right? You don't want to be holding anything for more than 10 minutes. So
yes. A friend brought up to me yesterday that Vine token. You guys may have seen this one on the timeline. Because there's been so this goes back to my point about understanding how all the puzzle pieces fit together, right? So Vine, of course, was the kind of the original TikTok, I guess. And there's been talk these days of Elon taking it over somehow or integrating it into Twitter, right? And then, okay, so a Vine token launches, and when you see that, you got to be able to put the puzzle pieces together and be like, yep, I'm putting some money on that. And I unfortunately did not. I saw it, and I'm my mid curve brain was it's too late.
I kind of went through this earlier today when they started these. So who was it? Lemus. So she posted stay tuned for 1 hour. We're gonna announce something.
Brutal.
Someone posted buy Lemus, and I'm all right, let's go pump down fund, see if there's a Lemus coin. And of course, there's already 15 of them, so it's not even that. Now you're picking between
which one is the right one,
exactly. Right? So you have to pick which one's the correct one, because honestly, all the money is going to flow into the one that has the most traction. And then it pumped 10x, 30 minutes, it's already back down to the baseline or whatever. So that's on a miniature scale. With the Trump ones, you have much bigger scales in terms of pumping, but it's I don't know how to even think in this crypto world anymore.
Well, yeah, maybe this is a question for you guys. If you zoom out and the 2017 version of all of us, and you were explaining this concept of meme coins and max degeneracy to your idealistic selves in earlier cycles when utility and development and protocols and decentralization and these things, peer-to-peer cash and all of these great things that were going to revolutionize and change the world. Do you think your 2017 self or earlier would have aped, or would you have been too holier than thou to kind of jump on the opportunity?
I think for me, I wouldn't have been holier than thou in terms of like, oh, it has to have utility. But I think I would have been scared. I think I would have been like, but this has, how do I know that this is in any way valuable or can keep pumping further? It just didn't make sense to me back then.
All the things that caught a bid back then were things that were going to change the world. This is whatever on the blockchain. And
yeah, but Graham,
if you
I
tried to present at that time just a meme, a pointless, like no utility meme coin, people would have laughed you out of the room.
Yeah, but I mean, now we know better. Those things from 2017 and the things now, they operate on the same principle, which is attention, right? Because all that crap from 2017 was just empty promises. It was...
Well, yeah, I lost count of how many projects I lost money on that had great white papers, and then what did they actually do? Nothing. Or they.
Well, I think this was also.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I think this was really almost like a consequence of the Gary Gensler regime in a way, because it scared away any legitimate business. We're like, okay, we can say all we want about 2017 being like all scams, but there were like some percentage, like whatever, 5% that were, maybe there's a larger percent, like 10% that were legit. And then of that percent, like 1% was actually successful. Right? But then you go through this like Biden regime of like, what's the point of doing a legitimate business if I'm just going to get absolutely wrecked for even like trying? So then you have this newfound generation. It's like, what if we just don't have a business and we just say from the beginning it's totally worthless? Like, right? That's totally clear. And the Genslers of the world are like, yeah, that's okay. That makes sense. And then you just like end up in this like spiral where it's like, okay, now we're better off not launching a business. We're better off just launching meme coins.
Yeah, they're like, I mean, Gensler was straight up like, yeah, that's not a security. You're not promising anything. It's 100% BS. So yeah.
So I think that's kind of like a really shame of the whole like thing where like this just made my idealistic self going back to Corbin's point. It's like I feel like there would have been more legit projects like come up if we didn't have all of this like regulation by enforcement going on throughout the years.
So then my question is, will there be a resurgence of idealism under the Trump pro-crypto administration? Or is that narrative gone and we're just in idiocracy?
Well, I think the cat is out of the bag in terms of what really drives markets, not just in crypto, but especially in crypto, which is you can have projects that are actually worth something, but there's no way they're worth the crazy valuations that I mean, like, what is XRP now? It's worth more than like 99% of all companies on the S&P 500, right? Like XRP.
But it's revolutionizing Swift, David.
Like,
relax.
It's like it's insane. There's no way that it's at that valuation. So I mean, I think a large part of all these values are just pure speculation, attention plays, and so yeah.
And crypto's the perfect environment for that, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing.
I think you're gonna have to end up like some weird thing where you're like first gonna have to do the attention, and then you're gonna have to try and like build something legit after the fact almost. And I think that's even happening with like consumer applications as well, where it's like, hey, like we gotta figure out how to like get the distribution and like go viral on TikTok, and then we can actually build something that is like a product, because just having the product is in no way going to cut it. So you kind of like have to go the reverse direction where the marketing has become like way more important than the product, because most of the products are like kind of commoditized, so the distribution mechanism becomes so important. I don't know if any meme coin is actually going to build a product, but maybe.
Well, this is perhaps why Ethereum's struggling, right? It's not. It's a cool protocol. It's a cool tool, but it's very hard to market Ethereum and World Computer to people that are like, 80 IQ drooling at the mouth, ready to ape into like degenerate meme coins. It's like it's a hard sell when you're like, this is gonna like change everything and smart contracts, and they're like, but is it gonna like rip?
Yeah, and then you have the the kind of the cheerleaders of Ethereum are, they're promising like 6-year roadmaps. Like in 2030, we're gonna have a great Ethereum thing, and then everybody's like, oh god, this is just we're done.
My bags can't wait that long.
Justin Drake, yeah.
I mean, bull posting now.
yeah. Tell me how Ethereum is going to be 1,000 times better than Solana next month, right? Like this kind of thing. I think like you look at like Tesla, for example, is a perfect example of what you were talking about, Andre. Like where a lot of that, I mean, it's like more valuable than all of the other car companies combined, kind of deal, right? The actual product, no matter how awesome it is, there's no way it's more valuable than Toyota, just Toyota. But all of them combined, I mean, I just, that's ridiculous. So,
well, I feel like that's like the perfect case study of like today's market of like,
that's exactly what I'm saying.
You have the Elon, right? Like you do have like the bull poster. Like he's just bull posting about Tesla, and it's like, this is going to be sick. When is it going to happen? I don't know, but it's going to be awesome. And then it's just like, okay, I'm in, right? And then I'm willing to wait. And the product's pretty good too, right? But I'm more excited by the hype.
Well,
but is the product better than a Toyota? No way.
But there's no, like, I can't name a single executive from Toyota. I don't know anyone from Ford. I don't know anyone from like GM. Like, who's their Elon? Like, who's bull posting their products? Who's telling me that it's the greatest thing ever? Nobody.
Pretty sure it's Vitalik Buterin. That's who's on the Toyota CEO. Or
all right, good stuff, guys. We got about 10 minutes left, I think.
Wait, sorry. Can I just ask one follow-up question?
Go ahead.
Sorry, because I don't know if you guys covered this. So my first question was, did you think the Trump meme coin was positive for the space? You guys all said yes.
Yeah.
Then my follow-up question to that is, what about the Melania token that dropped?
We need to discuss.
Afterwards?
We didn't even really get to Melania.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you guys.
Actually, I want to bring up this hilarious tweet on that one. Actually, this was brought to my attention by Alex Kruger.
Yeah, can we have some more background information on Melania? Like, I don't really know too much about how that's related to CIC and all of this thing.
So it's a different holding company. They claim to not have coordinated this, but in my opinion, that's utter bullshit. They must have coordinated this, but
I don't know.
48 hours after. Okay. Well, that's an interesting discussion. 48 hours after the launch of Trump, we had the launch of Melania. And this is the website here. Dear Solana, your support for me over the years has been nothing short of amazing. And for that, I am immensely grateful. Sincerely. Is that Melania Trump's signature? I'm not sure. But okay. So this also, this goes to a different on-ramper. It goes to Jupiter. Anyway, as soon as Melania coin launched, the minute it launched, it caused Trump coin to dump. And so this tweet, I thought it was hilarious. I got to bring this up. Oh, that's not it. Oh, goddamn. Just give me a sec. You guys talk amongst yourself for a second.
Yeah, no,
I got it. Oh, here it is.
I think the inclusivity, that's great. We want, you need more women in blockchain, and Melania, why not? Let's do it. Yeah, I think she's.
Right, let me read this tweet, Corbin. Sorry, sure. This is just so funny. It's from the Michael Saylor parody account. It says, "When you support your wife's business, knowing it'll cost more than it'll earn, but hey, keeping the peace at home is worth every penny. And there's a chart showing Trump coin dying the minute Melania coin launched. All right, sorry to interrupt.
Well, I think there was probably the assumption that more people would trade on the First Lady coin, but I think maybe in the event that this was like they collaborated on this launch together, and this wasn't two separate groups kind of just launching it kind of inopportune times and not thinking about it, then I think there was probably an assumption, well, Trump did good, probably appetite's pretty good to just keep going. Let's go through the family. That was at least my initial reaction was, okay, well, we just saw Melania. We're probably going to see a Barron. We're probably going to see a Don Jr. We're probably going to see a Eric, and we'll get the whole gang. We'll you can collect them all. But yeah, I mean, I think like obviously every first lady has always kind of walked in the shadows of the big dog, but yeah, I think
it's a huge mistake. If you
definitely
going to the conversation we were just talking about, where it's all about attention. You had this crazy attention on Trump coin, and then you launch Melania, and it splits it, and like people are like, well, where am I supposed to pay attention to now? Right.
I think it's more than that though, Graham. I think it's not just that it splits it in half. I think it just kind of breaks apart the whole thesis, because then you're like,
exactly.
What you're doing, at least what I did, is I saw that there was a Melania coin. I was like, oh shit, how many of these is he going to launch?
How many? Exactly.
Yeah, right? And everybody thought that too, and then they just get out. You get out of everything.
So I was dollar cost averaging out already, and then when that launch occurred and it dumped, I was like, it's gone. I'm out. I'm walking away. I might buy back in. I'll catch a good juicy dip, maybe. But that was enough for me to say like, that might signal, some depression in the market for Trump. So
it totally killed it. It killed people's imagination. Like before Melania coin had launched, I was thinking, man, they could be doing some really cool things with Trump token here. And then when Melania launched, you're just like, oh, okay, it's just a constellation of family meme coins.
Yeah, it's going to be a grift. It's going to be like 6 coins. Where's the attention going to go? I mean, it's just like dilution on a massive scale. It's like when Azuki, I don't know if you know that NFT project, they released their Elemental collection, which was 20,000, double the original, of just like carbon.
And it was like the same art.
It sent the price to zero. Yeah, exactly. Just so it's the same kind of thing though. Is it destroys the brand basically, in a lot of ways. So bad move.
It's still sitting at what, 10 billion? How many billion is Trump right now?
Well, I think Trump will recover. I think a lot of it depends on if they release other coins, and if they're smart, they won't. Right? If they're smart, they won't do any of that.
I saw some folks saying, the early prices of these meme coins are sort of, I mean, from a trading perspective, it's interesting. And maybe that's, you can comment on up and down, and this isn't great for the early price. But if the idea is to have these 2 coins out there, and then in the future, when Melania does something great, she announces a new school lunch program in the United States to make obese kids not obese again. Is that going to help her token price? When she does something great, is that something to trade on based on the things that she's doing as part of her role as first lady? And same thing with Trump. It's sort of like, this is an opportunity to trade on news and outcomes from the success or failures of the administration or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be good. And Melania and Trump can both recover. I think Trump will. But if they
David,
start,
did you just get wrecked by Melania coin? You're taking a bit
no,
of
I
bearish
didn't. No. I didn't get into either. I didn't participate in either because I was dealing with my damn kids. So I mean,
Kids always cost money, don't they?
They prevented their family from earning generational wealth. Thank you, kids. But I
need
mean,
better tech, like an eyepiece or something, so you can trade swiping your eyeballs or something.
Yeah, exactly. I just think that like if they release like 3 more coins or something like that, I just think that's a really bad move. Really, really bad move.
Well, maybe I wonder if they intended on doing that, and perhaps seeing the outcomes of this maybe caused them to pump the brakes.
Yeah, I hope so.
Nobody knows, right?
I mean, because otherwise, I don't know if you guys mentioned it. It was a great launch. I mean, obviously, whoever was in charge of it, kind of like I feel like they knew what they were doing. Right?
Oh, they absolutely knew what they were doing. I was diving into the market making of it was apparently pristine. Everything went very smoothly. Obviously, it wasn't a pump fund token, so they controlled the supply, right?
Yeah.
Can we just talk about how cool Melania looked during the inauguration, though?
I loved it.
She looked like an ice cold assassin. It was awesome. I loved watching it.
Do you guys remember Carmen Sandiego? Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
I heard that comparison. Yeah.
No, I thought it was great. Right. I thought it was great. Wait. One last thing.
Yeah.
Just sorry.
Okay,
just
one last thing. You get the last word.
So 80%, right? 80% to Trump's allocation. There's so much
digital. Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much they can do with that, though, right? They could airdrop it to people. They could burn part of the supply. I mean, so easy to manipulate further price action on this. So I feel like if they've done a good job,
all depends on. Yeah, it all depends on what they announce.
Yeah,
with that supply, how they're going to use it. It's very unknown right now.
Yeah, but I mean, they got to be thinking about this, and I think Trump has to be kind of really focusing on this. So anyway, yeah,
it's going to be a bad look if they dump.
Well,
also if they start selling on the heads of the people who bought in, it's going to be very bad. On the other hand, it could be a very good look if they find ways to pump those bags, right?
Well, they have to pump the bags, right? Because if Trump wants to realize 50-60% of the profits, which would be 3-4 times his current net wealth, then they have to, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was saying. The incentives are aligned here for them to do something good with this project.
SBR.
All right, let's wrap it up, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining, and thanks for everyone for listening. We'll catch you next time on Bitcoin.com's Token Narratives Pod.